Good afternoon to everyone. Today's the lecture is on mine gases. So, before we enter into the topic, what are the different types of mine gases that are present in our mind? So what is a mine gas? So, as per CMR, a mine gas is a vapor or a fluid which can has a capability to flow in the mine on any surface. So, different types of mine gases that are present in atmosphere, and it will be different from the underground. So what will be the difference? The major difference is there is a depletion of oxygen and there is an increase in carbon dioxide and other gases. What will be the happen? Because in the atmosphere, oxygen percentage is 20.90 and nitrogen is 79.07 and carbon dioxide is 0.03 because we find very fresh air in the atmosphere. But when we compare to the underground, oxygen percentage is 20.28 and the nitrogen is 78.90 and the carbon dioxide is 0.36 and CH4 that is methane is 0.46. So we are finding a new gas that is CH4 that is methane. The methane is an impurity that is a gas that will be formed in the cracks of the solid core. So these are the addition of gases that are added, and the gases which is oxygen is depleted, and mine gases continues. That is atmospheric air entering the mine, undergoes changes and gets contaminated. And with the noxious gases, there are five chiefly harmful gases. That is poisonous and toxic gases which are emit in the mines are CO2, CH4, CO, NO2, and H2S. H2S means hydrogen sulfide, NO2 is nitrogen oxide, CO is carbon dioxide, is also called as white dam, CO2 is carbon dioxide, and CH4 is called methane. And before we are going to deal with the mine gases, first we have to know uh, what are the different components of the mine atmospheric gas, mine atmosphere. So chiefly we are finding oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and different addition of other gases. So we should know in detail about the different types of gases. First, we are finding that is oxygen. Oxygen very much important to humans, plants, and everything. So every living organisms require oxygen. So we should know what is its properties. Properties includes colorless, tasteless, and odorless, and it can be slightly soluble by water, 5% by volume at 0 degree centigrade at 1 bar, and its molecular weight is 32 and specific gravity is 1.33, and its specific gravity is slightly more than the A, that is 1.1. Boiling temperature is 183 degrees centigrade, and this freezing temperature is minus 219 degrees centigrade at 1 bar. And presently, the percentage of oxygen by volume in air constitutes 20.93, and it's when we round up, it's 21%. So, what is physiological effects? Physiological effects in the sense, if the oxygen level is below, that is, it is not adequate, it is not optimum for a person to breathe. So there is a different types of psychological effects that a person can affect. So different by considering different percentages, we find different effects. So safe, we consider safe limit, it is as 20%. So 20% we every person will breathe normally. Normal breathing can take place. And warning limits. When 17% of heavy breathing, palpitation can occur at 17 degrees and 15 degrees. 15% means loses the desire to make any effort. So the person wants to nothing. He loses his desire, he loses his efforts, he has an inability to do any work. And danger limits are 12% feeling of airlessness, 10% serious of headache, blue lips, and 9% unconsciousness in 1 hour, and death due to oxygen. and last is 7%, that is least percent, and the person can get a fatal, that means it can he can may loss at a sense. And detection of percentage is normally done with the flame safety lamp, oximeter, oximeter, and multi-gas detector. These are the detectors that we are mainly using in our mines. And next important gas, that is nitrogen. Nitrogen constitutes about nearly 3 by 4th of the total atmospheric air, and it is as inert gas, and colorless, odorless, tasteless, and it is slightly soluble odor in water 2% by volume at 0 degrees centigrade at 1 bar, and its molecular weight is 28, and specific gravity is 1.17, and its specific gravity is 0.976, and boiling temperature is 196 degrees centigrade, and freezing temperature is 237 degrees centigrade. And different sources of N2. So we are finding the N2 in not only normally in air, but in also underground by addition of some of the gases, by addition of some of the mixtures that when we are burnt. So normally in underground, source of explosive, that is if an explosive contain nitroglycerin, this mainly acts as an part reducing agent, that is nitrogen. If you find in explosion nitroglycerin, we mostly found nitrogen gases and nitric oxides. And another way we find nitrogen is by decomposition of organic substances. So when these are able to we can complete, that is we can able to understand the percentage of oxygen and nitrogen, and then we go for the CO2, that is carbon monoxide. And there are the physical properties of CO2 is colorless, odorless, and tasteless, and slightly acidic in taste. Soluble in water around 80 degrees centigrade by volume at 0 degrees centigrade at 1 bar. Molecular weight is 44, specific gravity is 1.96, and specific gravity is 1.1. And boiling temperature is 180 degrees centigrade, freezing temperature 290 degrees centigrade, and present in air is um, not more than 21%. And present in air is 0. So there is slight mistake. There is a present in 0.03. And its physiological effects. There is a safe limit we consider 0.03% by normal and 0.5% by ventilation increase by 3%. Warning limit. Warning limit is at 1 degree centigrade. 1% noticeably deep breathing, 2 to 50% increased amount of air breathed at rest, and 3% breathing is doubled even at rest fatigue. And danger limit, 5% breathing is tripled, extremely heavy breathing, 6% suffocation and desire to sit down, violent panting and exhaustion. And at 10%, loss of sense cannot be endured for more than a few minutes. And 20 to 25% fatal cause death and after some hours. Detection. Percentage of CO2 is mainly detected by flame safety lamp. So flame safety lamp can be useful for oxygen and uh, as well as CO2. So we can easily understand that by diminution of oxygen percentage, there is an addition of CO2. So there is a inverse proportional to the oxygen and the CO2, and multi-gas detector also. So next important gas is carbon monoxide. Carbon monoxide is a poisonous gas that are present in the mine by incomplete oxidation of coal and by after the burning of explosives in blasting. And after burning of some of the explosives, we find carbon monoxide. And its physical properties are colorless, tasteless, odorless, and is slightly soluble in water 3.3% by volume at 0 degree centigrade at 1 bar, and its specific gravity weight is 1.17, and gravity is 0.976, and is equal to nitrogen as well. And boiling temperature is at minus 190 degrees centigrade, and melting temperature is at 207 degrees centigrade. And this harmless concentration, that is even very small minute concentration, it can leads to a heavy effect to a person, because the affinity of the carbon monoxide is 300 times the oxygen. So even small amount of oxygen, carbon monoxide, they can that can lead to a person it can clot the blood, it can stop the regulation of blood movement. So automatically the blood regulation, the blood movement, circulation will be ultimately stopped to the brain, and the person cannot know even he is affecting by the CO. So ultimately it leads to a death. And its temperature of ignition is 630 to 810 degrees centigrade. Um, and what are the toxic effects of CO? So we are finding different types of limits. That is warning limit, danger limit, and safe limit. So at safe limit, that is 0.05, safe limit is generally considered as 50 ppm, and working time is full shift, and there will be no effect at 50 ppm, just slightly thick. And 0.01 to 0.02, that is 100 to 200 ppm. So we consider in percentage 0.05%, it is equal to 50 ppm. 50 ppm means parts per million, that is 1 into 10 to the power of 6. uh, and working time is 1 hour, and effects is no effect. So warning limit. So there is a warning limit about the occurrence of CO and its effect. The 0.02%, that is 200 ppm, 2 hours of shift, and there is a slight headache. And 0.04, that is 400 ppm, there is a work count time, 45 minutes, and severe headache. And danger limit. So these are the danger limits that can person can lead to a death or unconsciousness within a span of small amount of time. 0.1 to 200 ppm, that is 1 hour, and 0.2 10 hours minutes, 10 minutes, and 0.3 5 minutes, and 1%, that is 10,000 ppm, that is at the time of 1 minute death can be easily possible. Generally, percentage of CO2 can be detected by CO detector, oximeter, multi-gas detector, that can be manufactured by the CMRS, Simfer, or different types of mining agencies. And another important gas is hydrogen sulfide. We don't find oxygen sulfide on the surface of the earth because that normally does not contain any. It is a poisonous gas, that is physical properties colorless, tasteless, with characteristic odor of protonic, soluble in water, 44 degrees centigrade, molecular weight is 34, specific height is 1.43, and specific gravity is 1.2. And its melting temperature is minus 80 degrees centigrade, boiling temperature is 60.2 degrees centigrade, allowable concentration is 0.0066, and is a poisonous gas. Allowable concentration is 0.00066%. And physiological effects. At 0.01%, slightly poisoning after 1 hour. And 0.02% poisoning after 1 hour without serious consequence. And at 0.05%, serious poisoning after 30 to 45 minutes. And at 0.1%, cessation of respiration and death quickly occurs within 10 minutes. And detection of CO2 H2S is mainly by proton XML and multi-gas detector. Physical and physiological properties of SO2, that is sulfur dioxide. It is a very poisonous gas, and it's colorless, tasteless, it's acidic taste, and strong pungent smell. And it's soluble in water at 4,000% and 0 degree centigrade. That is it's highly soluble. And molecular weight is 64, specific weight is 2.72, and specific gravity is 2.22. That is, it has very high specific gravity. That is, it and melting temperature is 0 minus 72.7 degrees centigrade, and boiling temperature minus 10 degrees centigrade. SO2 is detected at a small concentration of 0.0005% by its characteristic smell, burning of sulfur. It is formed in underground from explosion and burning of coal. So, students, are you understanding about the gases that I am teaching to you? If you have any uh, questions or any queries, you can raise, and you can type in the chat box and ask me. And okay, then detection. Percentage of SO2 is mainly detected by multi-gas detector. Physical and physiological properties. Sharp. Nitrogen oxides, that is different types of oxides when the nitrogen is react with the different types of oxygen and it has different concentrations. That is molecular weight is 0. Molecular weight is 0.46 and the specific rate is 1.59 and highly soluble in water on this concentration and 0.00025% and fumes are extremely poisonous. Its poison effect starts after 3 to 4 hours. It's extremely poisonous. So 0.025% may be fatal to man and effect of human beings formed inside the man due to the heavy blasting operations, fumes of diesel exhaust, etc. Detection. Percentage of oxides of nitrogen NO2, N2O4 are related to the multicast detector. Physical properties of methane. The one so before considering the methane is one of the most chief inflammable gas that are present in the mind. So we have to deal with the methane, and we are going to know different types of its physical properties. That is, it is colorless, odorless, tasteless, and molecular weight is 16. Specific weight is 0.716 kg per meter square meter cube, and specific gravity is 0.554, slightly soluble in water and diffuses 1.6 times as fast as air. Although odorless in some mines, it is emitted with impurities and characteristic odor. Methane gas is exposed on practically all mines emit methane because methane itself forms in the coal bin. Methane is lighter than air, so it accumulates at the roof or roof cavity and in the rise workings. The chances of methane concentration is very pronounced. So generally, methane is inflammable and forms at exposed mixture. Ignition temperature of methane is 650 degrees to 750 degrees, and this temperature may be higher or lower than these limits because of the barometric pressure, barometric pressure that are present in the mine. So, product of explosion temperature is 250, 2150 degrees centigrade to 2650 degrees centigrade. If it takes place in a confined space and volume is constant and 150, 850 degrees centigrade, the product of explosion can expand freely. One volume of CH4 needs two volumes of air. So you have to understand it needs two volumes of air and two volumes of O2 for a complete combustion. So most powerful explosion is given by a mixture containing 1 by 11 volume of CH4, that is 9.5% of CH4. Methane air mixture ignites at 110 degrees centigrade when adiabatically compressed. So students, we have to know what is adiabatic compression and isothermal compression. So adiabatic compression means the temperature will not be constant. So adiabatic and isothermal. Isothermal is without losing the temperature, the work done is constant. And adiabatic means with loss of temperature, the work is can be done. Methane air mixture ignites at 510 degrees centigrade, and in a confined space, the exposure reach may 7 to 10 atmosphere. The CH4 is not explosive below 5 degrees, 5% and 16%. So it can require 5 to 15% of CH4 because it can make an explosive mixture with an adequate quantity of air. The hot surface ignites CH4 at a temperature higher than the flame temperature. Flame safety gauge and must be cooled 12 degrees centigrade to ignite the gas. CH4 coming in contact with the hot source ignites with a delay. So thus at 650 degrees centigrade the delay is 10 per seconds and 1000 degrees centigrade is 1 second. Delay time diminishes with increase of pressure. Velocity of flame propagation depends on many factors. At 10 to 12%, CH4 velocity propagation is about 0.6 meter per second. In still air, but in fluctuating mixture, it may increase up to hundreds of meters per second. CH4 explosions are accompanied by two shocks. Forward shock travels from source of ignition and reverse wave from pressure drop due to cooling of gases. The mechanical damage by reverse wave is higher than the direct explosion wave. The explosion area is generally filled with hot gases such as CO2, N2, and CO. The area may be devoid of CO2 if cold dust takes place. So normally we are students, we understand different types of gases and its physiological effects and its composition. So before dealing, what we have to know how we can interpret different types of gases and how we can assess this underground gases, which can lead to ultimately sometimes cause disasters or different fires, accidents. So we can able to interpret by collection of data by using simply sampling. So sampling is a powerful tool for indicating for collecting different types of samples in order to know different types of fire indices. So generally the fire indices are Graham's ratio, that is CO carbon monoxide by CO produced by oxygen observed, and Young's ratio, CO2 by O2, and Billet's ratio. Billet's ratio is 6 CO2 plus CO2 by O2. And Billet's ratio is CO by there is a excess N2 plus CO2. And oxides of carbon ratio, CO by CO2. And Jones and Rickett ratio, that is CO2 plus 0.75 CO minus 0.25 H2 by O2. There are different types of features of ratio that can be used to know oxygen deficiency and Graham's ratio. These are important indication and generally expressed as percentage represents the fraction of oxygen observed as a result of heating, fire, which appears as carbon monoxide. The general formula for Grams ratio calculation is 100 CO by 20.93 by 17.79.04 into minus 0.2, and which can convert 100 CO by 0.265 into minus 4. 70, these are the figures that can actual the standard figures in the normal atmospheric air. And there is some thumb rule. So 0.4% or less indicates normal value, and at 0.5 indicates necessity for a thorough checkup, and at 1% indicates existence of heating, and 2% indicates heating is approaching active fire, or 3% and above indicates active fire. And there are different fire indices, and it still continues. And one of the another fire indices is CO2 by O2 deficiency ratio, that is Young's ratio. CO2 is O2. Carbon monoxide is generally carbon monoxide is generally poisonous gas. So the rise in CO2 by O2 and a small simultaneous fall in CO by O2 indicates further development of fire. CO2 by O2 deficiency ratio rising trend above 40% is warning level. CO2 by O2 deficiency ratio above 50% indicates dangerous condition. And Billet's ratio. This ratio conforms CO produced divided by the sum of black damp and combustible gases present. This ratio can be used as criterion of progress towards the extinction of fire behind the scenes under circumstances where the Grams ratio indicates does not apply. Black damp and combustible gases. Once again, this ratio is carbon monoxide produced divided by sum of black damp and combustible gases present. This ratio can be used as a criterion of progress towards the extinction of the fire behind the scenes under circumstances As it increases 12.5% and above, indicates the fire extinction. And fire in oxides are next indices is oxides of carbon ratio. This is CO by CO2. Indicates the incompleteness of combustion or oxidation is a powerful tool to determine the progress of fire rising during the early stages. And next one is John-Ricket ratio. This ratio is CO2 plus 0.75 CO minus 0. These are the figures that can be measured by different agencies. So CO2 serves as an indicator of type of fuel involved in any fire or explosion. It is also used as measure of reliability of sample analysis. This ratio was developed by Johnson Trickett for determining whether methane or coal dust when involved in mine explosion. Typical values of this ratio are given below. Methane 0.42 to 0.5, coal or oil or conveyor belting 0.5 to 1, timber 0.9 to 1.6. And finally, the conclusion is that to assess the status of fire, none of the above measures taken severely can give a precise and definite picture of progress of it. So, it is therefore needed that the information as may be available from all the indices taken together, along with the temperature measurement data, should be considered carefully to draw any inference regarding the status of fire. The history of fire, the mine condition are to be kept in the perspective for making necessary interpretation. And the next one is interpretation of fire constraints. In relation to mine fire, the mining engineer is called upon to interpret the results of samples of mine air, which have been taken for one of the following purposes: to detect the occurrence of a fire or heating, and to determine the inflammability of the atmosphere on the written side of the district of fire, which is being attacked by different methods of firefighting. Students, you are all aware about the different types of firefighting methods, which can be direct methods that are it can be exploited, that is extincted the fire directly by using sand, by water, or which the fire is very small. It can be easily approached. It can be readily extinguished by using direct methods. And to keep a check on the inflammability of atmosphere inside a fire area being observed. The main products of combustion of coal are carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, water vapor, oxidation of sulfur in coal, and may give rise to a small sulfur dioxide and hydrogen sulfide. Distillation of coal may result in production of methane and oxide hydrogen, and very small percentage of ethane, ethylene, and acetylene gas. These are small amounts of gases that we cannot find exactly in the mine, so somewhere we can find. So soon after sealing, the atmosphere in the sealed off area will be found to contain a relatively high percentage of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, a small percentage of carbon monoxide, a percentage of methane, depending on the gases of the scene, the remaining being nitrogen. If the fire is active, the percentage of oxygen falls quickly, and the percentage of CO and carbon monoxide rises sharply. And continuing fall in the oxygen percentage can also lead to increase of fire, and it causes different types of gases. So, so in order to know, uh, so so students, um, sorry, a continuing fall in the percentage of oxygen and a continuing rise in percentage of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide indicate the continuance of fire. the percentage of CO may rise to as much as 0.04%, and the percentage of carbon dioxide to as much as 5%. As the fight dies out, the percentage of CO and carbon dioxide fall, there being a corresponding rise in percentage of nitrogen. Should there be a leakage of air, there will be instantaneous rise in the percentage of oxygen and a fall in the percentage of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide because of dilution by extraneous air. So, in application of gas and analysis of heating, the important thing to ascertain the CO by O2 ratio, normally to the distillants. This may vary from about 0.1% to about 0.05% in the main returns and about 1% in the working place. Any increase in the ratio indicates the development of heat. Broadly, a ratio exceeding 1% demands careful watching when heating is taking place. The CO by O2 ratio increases, 2% indicates serious heating and 3% indicates active fire. CO produced by observed CO index is a ratio that is not affected by dilution and is found to be widely accepted over the years as criteria of state of heating and fires in the early as well as in the later stages of development. And CO, N2, and O2 are small percentages of CO, nitrogen, and oxygen in the main sample. The following analysis was taken in a scene when dangerous heating was taking place. Carbon dioxide 0.4%, methane 1.04, oxygen 1.03, nitrogen 78.67, and carbon monoxide 0.03. And these are the observations that are made in a practically in the mind. So that are I am representing here. And the CO index, that is, how can we can find the how can we calculate the Grams ratio? That is CO produced by O2 observed. So we found that CO index is 100 into 0.03 by 0.265 into 78.67 minus 19.90, which indicates 3.16. So students can easily find that Grams ratio is 3%. By your calculations, you understand that 3% indicates an active fire, so it's a very dangerous. So there will be a heavier chance of. So there will be a there is a there was a active fire behind the shield of area. So you have to make sure that you have to be careful and and one minute. Continues. That is inflammability of mixture of gases. Graphical method. So how can we find? We can also interpret the fire by using graphical method. So graphical method based on effective combustibles and effective inert gases. This method takes into account three features of mixtures of five gases. Effective inert component, which is defined as excess N2 plus 1.5 CO2 volume percent. That is inert component. And effective combustible component, which is defined as CH4 plus 1.25 H2 plus zero point 0.4 CO, and the methane, the ratio of R, that is total combustibles. It is total combustibles for various mixtures of methane, carbon monoxide. And there is a regulations we have to know, that is Pullman's regulations of uh, 118A for the precautions against spontaneous heating. So, except permitted by DGMS, no extraction of pillars in any seam or section shall be commenced until 5 dams of stoppings have been provided in all entrances to the panel, except entrances kept open for ventilation and haulage. Suitable doors or openings may be left, and bricks and other suitable material shall be kept readily available in the vicinity. Shale or other carbonaceous material shall not be used in construction of 5 dam as stopping. A panel shall be isolated by adequate stoppings as soon as being ordered. And next, inspection of fire stage. The isolation of stoppings. And third regulation, sorry, so third subregulation, subclass C. The isolation stoppings built around Gowed out area shall be inspected once at least in every 7 days. A report of inspection shall be recorded in the BPB and shall be signed and dated. BPB means bound page book and shall be signed and dated by the person making the inspection. In every fire is seen or gas is seen of the second or third degree, arrangement shall be made once at least in every 30 days to ascertain the atmospheric condition behind the stopping to seal off the fire out area. In every fire scene or gases scene of the second degree or third degree, arrangement shall be made once at least in 30 days to ascertain the atmospheric temperature, to build off sealed off areas, search both or fire a specific spontaneous heating, unless toppings are explosion proof. Next one continues. For subregulation 4 or subclass A, every stopping erected to isolate or control a fire or specific spontaneous heating of BG or to seal off both or an area of old working shall be numbered and shall be of adequate strength and so maintained as to prevent any leakage of air or gas through it, where water is likely to accumulate behind any such stopping. There shall be provided in the stopping a suitable pipe or other device to drain away the water without permitting any leakage of air or gas. A CP means a competent person once at least in every 7 days inspect all stoppings erected to isolate or control a fire or spontaneous heating in bottom pillar, in below ground. Sorry. During every inspection, he shall ascertain the general condition of the stopping and ascertain the temperature and humidity of the atmosphere outside the stopping. For every stopping, he shall place his signature with a date on the checkboard provided for the purpose of suitable position on the stopping, and this record shall be maintained for a period of not less than 3 days. A report of every such inspection shall also be recorded in bound page book and shall be signed by the dated by the person making the inspection. For the DMS, the Director of Mine Safety may require above inspections to be made at shorter intervals as may specify. Selection of sites, and there are another DGMS circulars. There are different CMR DGMR circulars. That is CMR 100, that is 100 regulation of sub-regulation 4, and 118 regulation sub-regulation of A class 1 and subclass A, and 118 A of sub-regulation 4, and 119 regulation 1 to 2 regulation. These are the important regulations that are related to the fires. So selection of suitor and design, standard and manner of construction of isolation, and preparatory stoppings under regulations 10094 of 118A, also as also built under regulation 119 of 122. To isolate or control a fire or spontaneous heating, or to seal off or sectionalize disused workings shall be as follows. Selection of site shall be free from cracks, geological disturbances, and 3 meters away from corners of pillars. Sufficient space is still available on the wood side to enable the reinforced. Converted into explosion proof subsequently. Design of construction. Bricks in lime or cement or mortar and minimum thickness of stopping. So at degree 3, that is third degree, if you are in mind, the stopping should require standard stopping should be there will be two stoppings, each 1 meter thick, and they it will be 4.5 meters apart. That is the distance between the two stoppings in by and out by will be they are aparted by 4.5 distance, and in stoving the thickness is 1 meter of stopping, and in one first degree and second degree 1 meter to be reinforced. CH4 exceeds 2% initially made explosion proof. That is explosion proof stopping is nothing but that is construction of stopping of 1 meter thick and departed by 4.5 meters. In that 4.5 meters, we fill the incombustible material which cannot propagate, which cannot allow through it the gases in it. And minimum depth of locking of both brick and RCC, that is reinforced cement concrete stoppings below roof, floor and sides. In coal, uh, the minimum depth of locking is 1 meter and its thickness is 50 centimeters. And in shale, 30 centimeters, and its thickness is 30 centimeters also. And in sandstone roof or floor, 15 centimeters, and in it 15 centimeters. Plastering, at least 1 meter in all sides, with sufficient thickness of lime or cement to prevent leakage. Water seal, sampling pipe 25 mm or 55 mm dia, fitted with suitable sluice valve or cap for spontaneous heating, should be extended up to a distance of at least 3 meters in by of the stopping and placed within 30 centimeters of the roof. Whitewashing. Generally, why we do whitewashing? Whitewashing in the mines we do for the purpose of increasing lighting and also for easy detection of cracks that are formed on the pillars during extraction or during pillar formation. So it is very important after the phase development, after the deep learning operations, in order to increase the factor of safety and the other safety related issues, whitewashing is important, and as it can detect the fine cracks easily. So with the detection of cracks, we can understand if there is any leakage into the pillars, or there is any spontaneous heating that can lead to the uh, pillar, the spontaneous heating of pillar, and by these fine cracks, the pillar strength is constantly subsequently reduced because if a pillar has a number of cracks, and it will be not at all a stable pillar. If it can be, we can make, can stabilize by using any reinforcement techniques or any roof or any pillar supporting or any additional precautions we can take place by increasing the size of the pillar or by using the new roof bolts, wire meshes, some any other means of support we can be incorporated in it. After the stopping, roads shall be well supported. Okay. Okay. అయితే ఏం చేయాలి స్టాప్ చేయండి అయిపోయింది సార్ ఇంకా ఓకే థ్యాంక్ యూ ఎన్ని నిమిషాలు సార్ ఇది